Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to our first of hopefully many Sedona Wolf Week Satellite Series. I'm Steve Wastel, Paula Ficara from Apex Protection Project, and Betsy's right there in my left corner. And Timon is somewhere from PlanBSaveWolves. We are the co-founders of Sedona Wolf Week. And Sedona Wolf Week was born 5 years ago now, in the hopes of not only bringing together advocates and experts on wolves, but bringing in people that maybe didn't know a lot about wolves and were interested in knowing about their beauty and their plight. The Satellite Series was really born out of a very harsh political environment we're living in right now, and a very difficult time for wolves and advocates across the country. In the hopes of bringing everybody together side by side and becoming one voice. 6 years ago, I was invited to go to Montana, to Darby, Montana, to follow as a naive California advocate, to follow trappers around with a camera and an armed guard. While I was there, I learned two very important lessons. One was I'd never actually met someone who really, really hated wolves. So to become face to face with that kind of anger and that kind of hate was a lesson for me. I also learned that there are people out there on the front lines that are fighting every day against these people and against this hate. And they feel sometimes unsupported. In my case, it was Mark Cook and Casey York. One of the things they said to me that stuck with me was they felt like they were living in a void and the rest of the country didn't know what they were going through every day. And I don't know if all the panelists here today feel like they live in a void, but I know that they are on the front lines. They are the heroes of the wolf world, and they are trying to fight this battle. And I do know that they need our support. They need our voices. And so that's what this conference today is about. It's about all of us standing up together, learning from all of these experts that are out there on a daily basis fighting this, and how we can help them and how we can stand together. So hopefully we probably won't answer all the questions today or solve the world's problems, but it's a step forward in getting together and helping to fight that battle and being one voice. Our first guest today is an old friend to Sedona Wolf Week and to us. Some of you will know him, Carter Niemeyer, a wonderful author of a book called Wolfer and another book called Wolfland. Carter has been at this for many, many, many years on both sides of the coin, actually, as a hunter and trapper and now as an amazing advocate for wolves. Last week, we were in a meeting with some of our friends in Montana, and Carter wrote an email afterwards, and I thought that it was incredibly poignant. It's really about how it used to be and how it is now. So we invited him to talk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, about his point of view about how the world was fighting for wolves back in the day and what has changed in the environment and how maybe we need to change to be more effective. So I'm going to hand it over to Carter, and thank you very much for being here, Carter.
Did I unmute myself?
You did.
All right. Thank you for inviting me to participate in your conference again here, and I hope you got a lot of listeners out there to participate. Well, I could talk for an hour and have struggled with how to talk for 5 or 10 minutes, but yeah, I guess everybody just needs to remember, 25, 26 years ago, we reintroduced 66 wolves, and now we're benefiting from that reintroduction and have perhaps 2,000 or more wolves on the landscape today. And back then, it was all for one and one for all, and we were moving forward quickly. And it seemed like you know, everything was positive. We were building something. So to quickly jump to the present time, got to remind everybody living up here in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, we're in a pro-agriculture, pro-development region of the country, it seems. And it's becoming anti-wildlife, and it's playing out in the state legislatures very obviously. So to start out with a bummer reminder is I'm guessing by the end of March this year, we will see about 1,000 dead wolves in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Idaho's killed 500 in 2020, and the seasons are still going on. And why are we killing all these wolves? People up here, the powers that be, believe we're saving elk and protecting livestock. The bad part is this is not translating into saving elk or protecting livestock. So I'm going to quick tell you what you can do, and then remind you too, there's a lot of speakers today, and I don't want to overlap what they're going to talk about. And I'm sure they'll go into a lot more detail than me, but one of my favorite sayings is, I hope you think about comforting the afflicted, which in this case are wolves, and afflicting the comfortable, which are the politicians who enable these rules, laws, policies to go forward. And it's at a fast pace right now. So, you know, the usual, write letters, make phone calls, get involved any way you can, join groups. Apex is one of them. There's Defenders, Center for Biological Diversity, a whole list of people that you could join and deal with. Sometimes the unity has got more strength than the individuality. And another thing to remember is, you know, silence is complicity. If you sit around and think that someone else is going to do this for you, they're not. So if this pulls at your heartstrings, it's up to you to get involved and not postpone it thinking, well, somebody else will handle it for me. And, you know, and just make a pledge to yourself today that you're going to do better, that you're going to take a little more time. If you can't participate, you know, maybe you can donate and see what others are doing. Today, I think you're going to hear from some people in Blaine County that in Idaho here that united and pulled off quite a overwhelming task of getting the Fish and Game to not kill wolves in their county. It's a unique situation and a unique place, but these people did pull it off from the mayor on up and the people on down. So I'm just going to quick remind you that wolves are being killed to save elk. Well, we've got too many elk in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. Montana's got over 160,000 elk. They can't kill enough of them. They have 45 versions of a hunting season to kill elk, to thin them out. Problem is, hunters can't get in because the land's all getting locked up. Going to read you a headline here, just here in Idaho, this past 2020 elk season. It's the 6th highest elk harvest on record and the 2nd highest in the past 10 years. Is that a shortage of elk? No. Right now, Idaho is about 4,000 elk over management objectives. Same with the state of Wyoming. They've got too many elk, and they state it all the time. One producer of onions and wheat here in Idaho this past year was paid over $1 million for crop damage by elk. So I'm just saying, it's a mindset up here. It just seems frustrating and futile to argue this fact that we don't need to be killing wolves to save elk. I think wolves would help us out. They eat elk. So it's kind of frustrating, and it doesn't even really make sense. And as Mark and them said, or quoted, you know, it is kind of a void. Is anybody listening? So, and same with livestock, you know, over 95% of the livestock in this country die from birthing problems and disease and winter severity, all these factors. And of the available sheep and livestock out on the range up in this country, less than 1% are killed by wolves. And the research studies by the Fish and Game Department show that mountain lions and black bears actually kill more elk calves than wolves do. And in Idaho, for example, you know, we have an estimated 1,500 wolves, 3,000 mountain lions, and 20,000 black bears. So again, tell me the sensibility in what we're doing. So, and of course, we haven't had any humans attacked either, so that's not a factor. So I just kind of summarize. You know, it's a cascading effect up here. The Republicans dominate the legislature, so I'm not bad-mouthing you if you're a Republican, but along party lines, the legislatures in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming are dominated by Republican lawmakers, and they're pushing wolf-killing bills right and left. And the governors in these states are rubber stamping them. And if we're killing 1,000 wolves now, they want more dead. It's not enough. So this is what we're dealing with. And the governors, of course, appoint the fish and game commissioners who virtually support what the governor signs off on. And that's the environment we're living in up here. So last of all, you know, the legislatures up here don't really want to hear from out-of-staters. They don't want your opinion. But I just remind you, this is dominated by public lands. Idaho is over 60% public lands, a significant amount in Montana and Wyoming. You do have a say. Is your land to help these folks out, help me out. I'm just the end of my rope fighting for these wolves, and we're going to keep, you know, afflicting the comfortable. Thanks.
Paul and Steve.
Hi, sorry, we're
Okay.
still learning how to use.
Thank you, Carter. Thank you so much.
That was amazing. Yeah. You know, before we start this next panel, you know, Timon is very shy, so he's not going to share why he's an advocate and why he's so passionate about fighting for wolves. But Betsy, Steve, and I just wanted to take a minute because this conference we're all together because we are advocates, and we wanted to kind of share why we're advocates. I'll just quickly start, and I had to type it out because I get nervous. You know, I love Muhammad Ali's quote, "The service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." And the first time I heard that, I felt like I'd just been hit, because it just meant so much to me to be on this planet. And I do feel a responsibility to be of service, to be here. I advocate for wolves because they are one of the most misunderstood species on our planet, as well as one of the, if not the most persecuted. And I feel I have a duty to be a voice for them, which will in turn hopefully be a voice for all creatures who are defenseless against the human race.
Yeah, and I just, you know, want to reiterate what I said at the beginning. You know, when I left Montana 6 years ago, I vowed to Mark and Casey that I would do everything in my power to make sure that they did not live in a void. And I think that Sedona Wolf Week and all of us at Sedona Wolf Week really vow to keep that promise. And that's one of the reasons we're all here today, because a lot of these people that you're going to hear speak today, they need our support, they need our voice, and we need to stand up together with them. And like Carter said, nobody is going to do it for you. So, you know, I just want to thank everybody for being here. and for listening and learning. Some people know a lot, some people don't know a lot. And after today, hopefully we'll all know a lot more, and we'll know what we can do and how to stand by each other and make sure that no one on the front lines or anywhere is living in a void, and that we are there, we hear them, and we support. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. It was so great to see everyone logging in early. For me, it's all about the ethics and humanity. You know, when a bill to stop yoke whacking cannot even get past committee in Wyoming, then I believe we as a society have lost our way. I also believe that crimes against animals are crimes against humanity. And ethically and morally, we as a society cannot allow these things continue, because it is so much more. It is about so much more than just killing these beautiful creatures. And I see there's a lot of momentum in this belief, and the general public will support this position in taking back this narrative. The hard part, of course, is convincing our politicians and our legislators and wildlife commissions to believe this, to not only believe this, but implement laws and rules for these protections that these wolves and all wildlife do need. And I really look forward to making that happen with all of you. So with that said, let's get this program going. I'm going to ask everyone from the Great Lakes region to turn on your video so we can dive straight into the issues with Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota. There you all are.